So I got this really great question from a reader about whether or not if I'm rude to an LLM, will I start to become rude to people in real life? As I started to look into it, it was actually really interesting and not necessarily what I expected. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. I have a PhD in digital psychology, and I read academic journals so that you can use tech smarter. If that sounds good, follow me for more. The first is because it is a social conversation, or whether we like it or not, we start to think about social rules of how we interact with other people. They've done research to show that when you are in a collaborative task with an LLM, if that LLM is polite and collaborative, then when you do the next task with a human, you will also be collaborative and polite. If the LLM was rude or selfish or uncollaborative, then that might trickle over into how you treat the next human. The second and the third one are interesting because they look related, but they have very different outcomes. If you believe that the LLM has functional empathy, it can identify the emotions that you have, validate, and try to help address that negative emotion. That can actually reduce the amount of abuse that a human will inflict upon an AI chatbot. This is functional empathy. However, if you start to believe that the AI not only can recognize your emotions, but feels their own emotions, has their own consciousness, and is kind of human-like, that's actually where things can go wrong. You have started to expand your category of what it is to be human. You establish that when I'm talking to people and people like things, I am allowed to do this for other people that are not my equals. So that's sort of the dangerous trap that you can get into. And the last one is the self-perception theory. And the idea behind that is that when you act in a certain way, you observe your own behavior and you can start to make assumptions about yourself. So what does this all mean? If we are frustrated and sometimes abusive to our LLMs, that will not spill over necessarily into how we treat other human beings. If we see AI as a very helpful collaborative tool and not as a kind of human being. So if you take anything from this, behave so that you are the person that you want to be.